What's going on, people? It's your boy NGS, back at it with another video. And today, I just wanted to get on camera to talk to you guys about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, full disclaimer before we dive further into this, the topic of this video is about the PS5 Pro, but it is not my intention to convince you guys to purchase the console or dissuade you guys from purchasing the console. Value is subjective at the end of the day, and if you are somebody who's been following gaming news for any amount of time, you are aware about the existence of a PS5 Pro, and you've already made up your minds on whether or not you want to buy the console or whether or not you want to avoid it. These are just the random, rambling thoughts of a random black guy not wearing his glasses today. So, without further ado, let's talk about the PS5 Pro. I am kind of at a loss for words. So we knew the PlayStation 5 Pro was coming. We didn't know the exact dates, but we knew it was happening sometime this year. PlayStation comes out and says that, hey, check out this video on our YouTube channel tomorrow. You're going to see a deep dive look into PlayStation architecture, something along those lines. Now, it was a 9-minute video, so a lot of us are thinking to ourselves, well, this more or less has to be the PlayStation 5 Pro announcement. Like, what else could it be, right? Unlike a lot of people out there who watched it when it was premiering, I didn't get a chance to. So the first thing I did when I woke up in the morning, before I took my morning piss of excellence, was go on Twitter and I saw the price of the console. $699 US, $700 for a mid-gen console refresh. And mind you, that is in United States US dollars. I'm not even talking about the conversion rates as it pertains to the United Kingdom, as it pertains to Japan, as it pertains to Canada. Oh my gosh, I am sorry, people. But $700 for a PS5 Pro. That's the first thing I saw, and I was just like, damn, that is a very expensive console. Now, I knew it wouldn't be anywhere close to the PS5's price. They wouldn't do a situation where they drop the price of the PS5 to maybe $400, and then they come out with this Pro console at $500, maybe $550, but I'm thinking like a cool $600, maybe if you want to push it, like $650 for a digital variant of it, and then maybe $700 with the disc drive included. You know, I'm just thinking about all the possible scenarios. You know, I'm like Doctor Strange in Infinity War, looking at all these different outcomes, trying to find the one that could potentially make sense. And none of that shit made any sense. PlayStation 5 Pro retailing for $699 without the disc drive and without the vertical stand. Oh my God. So before I had my breakfast of champions, or if you're in the case of BG, before he even put on deodorant for the morning, I went over to YouTube to watch this PlayStation 5 Pro deep dive. And I am so confused at what they were trying to tell with that video, bro. Now listen, I got nothing but love and respect for Mark Cerny. That man is a wizard. That man is a genius. What he's able to pull off with these PlayStation consoles as the lead architect is nothing short of incredible. And he's everybody's favorite serial killer. I mean, just look at this guy. Come on now. But in all seriousness, Mark Cerny is awesome. I'm watching this man, Mark Cerny, on camera looking all crispy. This man is looking better than some of the games that were shown off. And I'm thinking to myself, where are the video games, bro? Where are the video games, man? I've been looking like Will Smith out this bitch, bro.
Where are the video games? Where the video?
He's talking about how the PlayStation 5 Pro is geared towards enthusiasts, it's geared towards gamers who don't want to choose between fidelity and performance mode, which is true. In most situations, I will always opt for performance mode because I need my 60 plus frames per second. It is what it is at this point, man. It's basically a standard in the gaming industry. So now with the PlayStation 5 Pro, you don't have to choose anymore. So all those games that had a dynamic 4K resolution running at 30 frames, now you can run them at 60 frames. I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's pretty lit. You know, that's not a bad trade-off at all, man. But where are the games that are going to show off this whole, you don't have to choose between anything else? The Last of Us Part 2, a PS4 game. Come on, bruh. Bro, that is a game that I played 4+ years ago. Why do I need to see that thing running better on a PlayStation 5 Pro? There's only so much the ceiling can go from a game that was developed on 2013 hardware. Like, what are we even doing here? And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? It's their marquee title. It's one of their biggest games. Let's move into the next game they're going to show off. These dudes show off Gran Turismo 7. A racing game that's also available on the PlayStation 4. Huh? What are we doing here, bro? The entire way that they were trying to sell this PlayStation console was by showing you games that were shown off on the PS4. And in the case of Horizon, it's so fucking funny because they debuted Horizon Zero Dawn with the PS4 Pro, and then they're debuting PlayStation 5 Pro with Horizon Forbidden West, a game that can still run on the original PS4. It's just like, there's 3 constants in life, well, in this case 4. Death, taxes, and Horizon and Last of Us just being everywhere. And then it was just a bunch of comparison images of games that were running on the PlayStation 5 normally and what they would look like on the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I can tell you for a fact, corporate wants you to find the difference between these photos, and there really isn't much. And mind you, I was watching that on my LG C3 OLED TV. Hello. And if I'm watching it on that TV and I'm not noticing that much of a difference, you got a problem here, because we are the nerds. We are the people who, this console is made for. And if we're not noticing that much of a difference when we're watching the showcase, how in the world are you going to convince the casuals to do that? And yes, I get it. It's compressed YouTube video. When the console debuts and you run the games on there, once they've been patched, of course they're going to look better. Absolutely true. But that being said, with the concept of a PS5 Pro running games better, wouldn't it make more sense to actually show off native PS5 games running better on the console? Like, take this year in particular. We had games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong. If you want to talk about some other games that were having performance issues, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Sure, some of those games, it could be the developer's optimization. Others, it could just be the performance of the systems. But wouldn't it make more sense to be like, hey, those games that you guys are already playing right now, they're going to run infinitely better. And yes, some of those games have already been confirmed to be getting pro patches, but it's just the optics. If you're showing off this new system and you're showing old games that can run on the PS4, and then everything else is just like this highlight sizzle reel, and then you show the price at the very end of the video like you throw a freaking flashbang and you running out that bitch. What is going on? And the price point is what really gets me. $700 for a system. Now, I'm not like one of those weirdos out there who says that, oh, you might as well just build a PC. The whole myth that you can build a PC that it's on performance of a PS5 or the Series X for around the same price is ridiculous. Everybody knows that, especially with the price of components. The argument should always be, if you spend a little bit more money, you can get a PC that is not only comparable, it is better. And then in the long run, it saves you a lot more money. You save a lot more money buying games on Steam. You don't got to pay for online, yada, yada, yada. But with the console, a mid-gen, this is the thing that, okay, we're going off the rails now. This console is $700 for a mid-gen system. Not a new generation of PlayStation consoles. This is not a PS6. This is a mid-gen refresh for $700 with the same CPU, a little bit of a better GPU, but for the most part, it's got the same guts in it. You know what I'm saying? It's still got to run PS5 games. It still has a ceiling. $700 for this machine. $700, $200 more than what the launch console price was. No disk drive. No vertical stand. So if you wanted to get that complete PlayStation 5 Pro experience, if you were someone who had a disc version, you have to spend over $800+. Okay, so now we're getting dangerously close to the territory of PC gaming prices. For a couple $100 more, you could build a system that is better. But again, the price and the performance and what people value, it could be subjective. It could be very different. But the thing about consoles that was always so cool about them was the fact that they were a low barrier of entry. Consoles were just these set-top boxes. You spend a couple $100, you don't worry about it, and then in a few years you do the same thing, boom, you're good. But now, with the PS5 Pro, with all the little bells and whistles, we are getting dangerously close to that PC territory, and you still gotta pay for online, and you still gotta pay the $70 for games. It's just, whoa. Notable PlayStation shareholder Jeff Keighley, aka, I probably shouldn't even say this part, but y'all made it this far in the video. PlayStation Glazer Jeff Keighley had this to say when it came to the PlayStation 5 Pro's pricing. PS5 Pro by comparison to all the other systems adjusted for inflation. Who asked you to do that, good brother? What are your intentions here? And listen, I know if you're someone who PlayStation is your primary platform, or if the shoe was on the other foot, if Xbox was doing this and Xbox was your primary platform, and if you game a lot on the system, then yes, the idea of a pro console where you're getting better performance, better resolution, things like that, if that appeals to you at the end of the day, by all means, have at it, have fun with the system. I'm not here to pocket watch you. I want you guys to enjoy it. If you guys like it, I love it. But just the optics of them coming out with this PS5 Pro, where in my personal opinion, there are still no PlayStation 5 native games where I just be going like, damn, this is why I bought a PS5. The games from Naughty Dog, the natively developed games from Santa Monica, those type of games that were showcases, like a Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch, like, it would have been nice if they were showing off this system to show those games. And I know a lot of people are saying that, well, just wait for the next PlayStation showcase, wait for the next state of play. I feel like we've been doing this constantly when it comes to a lot of these PlayStation things and them just being like so quiet and hush hush about it. It's always wait for the next thing, wait for the next thing. I feel like this is starting to become Xbox defense for PlayStation, because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Xbox used to be wait for E3 for the longest time, and now it's just like, shut up, you don't understand, buy the console, just wait for the showcase and they'll show it. It's like, okay, all right, sure, let's wait for that one. Looking at the PS5 Pro on paper and looking at who they're trying to appeal to with this console, I get that it's going for the enthusiast crowd. It's going for the people who are really hardcore into the PlayStation ecosystem and they don't want to choose between fidelity and performance. That is cool. And of course, that's going to satisfy the small little niche. But realistically, how much of a niche are they expecting to satisfy with a console that's almost $1,000? Especially when you factor in the implications on what this could mean for consoles going forward. Because like I mentioned before, this is $700 for a mid-gen console refresh. $700. What is that going to mean when PlayStation 6 comes out? When the new generation of consoles begin, you know, if I had to take a bet, probably 2028, at the earliest 2027. When these new consoles come out, what are those consoles going to be priced at? You know, if you had PS5 for $500, this new variant for $700, and then what's the next generation going to be? Is that going to be a $600 starting point where they subsidize it at that price? Like, what is it going to be? I have no idea. But what I do know is that for me personally, the PS5 Pro is not something that I'm interested in at this current moment. Now, that could change in the future if, let's say, for example, I do decide to, you know, like I decide to be like, you know what, I can't deal with these games only running at 60 frames per second. I need these games to run at 60 frames per second with a better resolution and everything. And for some people, that is well worth spending that extra money. For some people, they will, you know, deal with the trade-in value that they get and they will swallow the other $400+ and buy this new system. For some people, that is fine. But me, myself, and I'm still waiting for a game to come out on the PS5 where I'm just like, yo, that's the game. I'm still waiting for that Uncharted effect. I'm still waiting for that Last of Us effect. I'm still waiting for that God of War 2018 effect. What I have gotten so far is all of those fucking games remastered. I'm exhausted. But if there is one silver lining at the end of the day when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro, is that it's going to be the best place possible to play the Xbox multiplats when they come out. Now that is some diabolical work. Damn Series S.